Welcome to the MLB Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you riding solo once more from the West Coast, Josh Lander. Still waiting on Nate to get back as we continue along in this MLB season, bringing you these daily MLB picks here, player props, and a few game plays as well here. Usually trying to hit that first five where we're talking about pitchers and fading those starters or riding with them. We'll see how we do today as we look forward to this show on Monday, July the 24th. Looking back quickly at the previous show, not quite as much success in that one. 0-3 last Thursday. Zach Gallen and Spencer Strider had a really interesting battle there with the Diamondbacks and the Bravos, as you hopefully were watching that if you were able on Thursday during the daytime. That was a really good matchup for a few innings pitching-wise. Then they both kind of blew up and ended up out of the game, but Zach Gallen still managed to not walk a single batter despite giving up a bunch of runs. Tyler Glasnow got right over 8.5 Ks to get 9. He is not someone I know. I mean, look, we said it was possible he gets 9 in 6 innings, and he went the full 6, and they didn't really have that same inning pitch limit on him that I thought that they would have. So he got the 9 and did not go under as I thought he might. And then Toronto and San Diego, Blake Snell did not come through for us, managing to outpitch Chris Bassett, who actually didn't give up a run in that game. And the Padres fell to the Blue Jays in that one as well. So we're 7-8 on the season, still up almost a unit, still grinding away here. Only 15 games, up a unit in baseball with these tiny little margins. Isn't the worst thing in the world, so we'll continue to try to get some better success. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page, though. Continue to follow along. Check out each and every video that we're bringing you each and every day as we move forward through this regular season of the MLB. Also, head to thelines.com. You can check out the great content we're putting up on the site and use the odds finder tool that we have up there for you guys. Make sure that you're getting the best odds available to you from all these books, giving you bets in the MLB this season. Let's jump right into the first bet for today on Monday. And we're looking back at the Padres once again, taking on the Pirates. And the Pirates are a team we can fade right now. They're a team that has pretty much solidified that they don't want to have anything to do with the postseason. And they brought up a bunch of young guys to see what they have in their minor league system and sat a bunch of guys who I don't know how good they were. The Pirates, sort of overachieved this season. But we know that the Pirates aren't really trying to win anymore, and we can start to take advantage of that. Padres been a little bit better, so my first bet is -1.5 on the run line. Don't love doing that when I'm talking about the home team here for the Pods, and they don't get that extra half inning, right, even if they are up to get more runs. So -1.5 with the home team is a bit scary, but they're just so much better than Pittsburgh. And really, I'll talk about rookie Quinn Priester here for the Pittsburgh Pirates and why I'm so confident in fading him. 0.3 units, by the way, on that one at -125 on FanDuel when I got this bet here. Priester, I mean, he's one appearance, 0-1, 11.81 ERA. That's because he had 7 earned runs allowed in 5.1 innings pitched against the Guardians there last week. And the Guardians, they've been a better offense, but like this Padres offense has been much better actually in these situations and over the course of the last month as well. If you look at their offense, I mean, they're 17th in WOBA on the season, 14th in weighted runs created plus. Still top half of the league in most offensive categories, despite the underachievements that they've had. A 343 WOBA is what they've had on the season. There's a bit higher WOBA projected for them against Priester and the way that he throws against this team here, who probably will be able to get on base a good amount against Priester and then probably be able to send those guys home. But that's been the Padres thing all season, is leaving guys on base. So hopefully they continue to walk and get guys on base, get to Priester, get to him early. I mean, he's going to pitch 5 innings probably, even if he gives up the 7 runs like he did last time. So for the Pods to sort of be winning this game pretty big at the end of 5 innings feels pretty good. There's really not even any juice on the money line there for the first 5. You still have to take like at least half a run, and it's -170. So everything's juiced against the Pirates, obviously, and really against people betting on the Padres. But they got Yu Darvish on the mound, 7-6 this season with a 4.36 ERA. Decent expected numbers as well. He comes into this one, he's got about a 3.77 expected FIP and about a 3.6 expected SIERA. So with those numbers coming into play here, I'm feeling pretty good about Yu Darvish's ability to go up against this Pittsburgh lineup, who once again is sort of they've been really bad as of late and down to about a 297 WOBA, especially against guys like Yu Darvish, who come in there with a few different pitches where they do have movement, but really nasty, obviously fastball as well. So I feel pretty good for the Pods here. -1.5 on the run line for the whole game. 0.3. I think this thing will be over pretty quick, to be honest, but let's just take it for the whole game so we can get a little bit of the juice back that's being taken from us. Moving on to the second game here, Guardians and Royals. And another thing where, look, the Guardians are trying. They've looked a lot better over the course of the last month on offense, where they've been putrid, honestly. And they've get Logan Allen coming back into this one. And I love Logan Allen. I've had him on my fantasy team sporadically and for most of the season until he went down somewhat mysteriously, in my opinion, to the minors. And he only seems to be getting another opportunity up here because of the fact that there's some hurt arms for the Guardians. But I still like Logan Allen at 4. He's 4-2 on the season with a 3.21 ERA. He might be due for a bit of regression if you look at his expected numbers, but like he's going up against this awful Royals offense right now in a way that like you're still getting the Cleveland game juiced against you if you want to bet on the Guardians. But I do want to bet on them. They're taking on Ryan Yarbrough, who has looked decent at times. I mean, he looked decent against Detroit last week, gave up 3 runs to the Tigers in 5.2. Didn't manage to go 6 against them. You don't love to see that against, like I said, one bottom 3 offense for the Tigers right now for sure in this league. And with Cleveland coming in against Yarbrough, I think that the way that they've been hitting lefties has been bad all season. They're ranked 22nd on the season versus left-handed pitching. But let's go ahead and look at how hot they've been in the last month. I mean, in the last month, they moved all the way up to 15th against left-handed pitching. But even in the last 3 weeks, they've moved all the way up to 10th in just in that time frame in terms of batting average and a few other key statistics here like WOBA, weighted runs created plus, things of that nature. They against left-handed pitching, they're doing much better. So I think they're not really taking that enough into account for Logan and the Guardians offense against this Royals really bad offense. And then Ryan Yarbrough, who I just think there's a good opportunity for Logan Allen to continue. Like, look, I know that he's got some weird expected numbers and he has walked a few guys, doesn't strike very many guys out. But still at this point, in his last 12.2 innings, we're talking about not allowing a single run, right? Like, I understand there's luck, but like, how long do you just can start to consider it luck versus being like, this is kind of what he's doing, man, even if it's just for this season and the way that the ball's rolling for him. I feel pretty good about Logan Allen, making sure that the Cleveland Guardians get the first 5 money line. It's only minus 180. I'm going all the way up to 0.4 units to get a little bit of that back, though. Feeling pretty good about that one. And moving on to the last pick here that I'm making for you guys, we're looking at Texas and Houston. And I'm going with a couple bets in this game because I like Texas on the first 5 money line, and I like the over on the first 5 as well. 0.3 units on both of those things there. The better juice for the Texas money line is minus 125. It's on Barstool. You're not going to get much better than that. I think it's actually about minus 135 or so on the bigger sites like FanDuel and DraftKings. Then for the over 4.5 on the first 5 for these two teams, I like that's on BetMGM with the best odds there, minus 115. Put 0.3 units on that as well. So looking at these two teams atop the AL West, Texas is coming off losing 2 of 3 to the Doyers, and now Corey Seager is hurt, and you don't like to see that. He's on the shelf again for the second time this season after spending about a month there earlier. He's only played in 66 games, and when he has, he's been an MVP candidate. 350, 413, 631. Those are his slashes right there. He's got 15 dingers and 58 RBI in those 66 games. That's a wins above replacement of about 4.5, which is also good for MVP style numbers there. So it's tough that he hasn't been able to extrapolate that out into a full season, and might be a leading candidate for that MVP in the AL. Despite the fact that Shohei Ohtani plays there. So, whatever. We'll see what the offense is able to do. I still like the over for this team coming in and taking on Houston. This is a matchup where Houston would normally seem to have the better pitcher, but they got Brandon Bielak going. And that's going to be someone who's only out there because of some of the injuries that they faced to those pitching arms in Texas, for Houston specifically in Texas, Texas. And Bielak, that 5.48 ERA with an xERA that's a little bit higher than that. His K to walk percentage is not good, about 9.5%. And like I said, he's basically a replacement style and level of arm at this point. This isn't the Oakland A's, who Houston's coming off 3 of 4 taken from Oakland, right? This is the top team in the division. And they got John Gray going. With Gray, there's not a lot to love when you look at the way that things have fallen a bit for him. Like, he's not striking guys out quite as much. He's not really managing to keep walks off the board as well. He is walking a lot more than you'd like compared to how many guys he's striking out, about 11% K to walk percentage there. He does have, look, all these Texas pitchers, they leave a lot of guys on base. They have very low BABIPs because they have a top 3 defense behind them in Texas, playing for the Rangers there. There's, like I said, that strand rate is super high because they continue to find ways to get outs. And it's like, Texas is one of those teams where the ball is rolling correctly for them in a lot of different scenarios, and you hate to rely on that. But if every single pitcher here has some worse expected numbers and a really low BABIP and seems to be getting lucky, it's like they play in a big park out in Texas, which you can say it's a hitter's ballpark, but not a lot of things are leaving the park. And that defense is so good covering all that ground for a reason. That's how this team has been built, so that they can make sure that they do keep those runs off the board if you're not able to get the ball out of the park. So, like I said, Texas wouldn't normally have such a pitching edge in this one. I mean, the Astros have had that pitching edge for most teams, especially when you look at the fact that Altuve and Alvarez are still out right now for them. That's why they've had to rely on pitching a bit more. This is just not the spot for them. So I do like over in the first 5 a bit more, especially because you get the juice. But I'm putting 0.3 on both of these for Texas to be winning after 5 and for this game to be over 5 runs after 5 innings as well. And that is all the time that I have for you guys in this one. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Continue to follow along. Coming back to you tomorrow with more of these picks for you guys. So until we see you next, happy betting.